Why are you having intercourse with your boyfriend's dad? Like, what is happening on Alton Road? Hey nerds, welcome back to my channel. Today we are finally doing another episode of Reading Rouge. I know it's been a long time coming. I've been busy, y'all. I just graduated college last Friday, so things have been crazy around here. But yes, we're back with another Reading Rouge, and let me grab it. This episode we're going to be talking about The Block Party by Jamie Day. Can you see her? Take a look, take a peek, take a gander. This right here, listen, I'm gonna get into it. I'll get into it in a second. But before we do that, please leave a like. It really helps me and I appreciate it. Thank you. Now let's get into this. Okay, I feel like this is gonna be a long one because I asked y'all to vote if y'all wanted me to talk about the entire plot or just talk about the characters. And most of y'all voted on plot, so that's what I'm gonna do. So we might be here for a little bit, but that's okay. I'm gonna talk about the characters too briefly, just so y'all can get a feel of what's going on. So The Block Party is a murder mystery novel. Yes, honey, and y'all, I can't tell y'all how good I can't tell y'all like all day how good this book is, but this book did something to me. Like, it had me screaming, literally. I'm not even kidding. Let me read the book jacket so we can start y'all off. This summer, meet your neighbors. The residents of the exclusive cul-de-sac on Alton Road appear to be living idyllic lives, but underneath the surface they're all entangled in a web of secrets and scandals. That is a understatement, but I'm gonna keep reading. At the annual summer block party, the only thing more dangerous than desserts are the neighbors. And this year, murder is on the menu. But who is the killer and why did they kill? The answer lies 1 year earlier, when the rivalries and betrayals first unfold and the residents of Alton Road each discovered that nothing and no one is ever as it seems. It's a little synopsis on the book jacket. Usually I don't like to read murder mysteries, you know, because there's so many details and there's a lot going on, and usually it's told from like 4 different people's perspective, but in this book it's only told from 2 perspectives, thank goodness, a mother and a daughter. And this was really easy to get into. Like the first like 5 pages I was all the way in. And also, not only is this book actually amazing, it is a really good palette cleanser for what I read last time for the series. If y'all don't remember, if you weren't there and you're coming in just now, hi, how are you? But for my last Reading Rouge, I read Twisted Love. Yes, that Twisted Love. Long story short, it pissed me off. And I was like, I can't believe I read that. What a waste of time, what a waste of money. But this, great palette cleanser. I'm so glad I picked this up. I actually was going to read a different book after reading Twisted Love called The Club. And that was also a murder mystery, but it was a slow burn and it wasn't really doing it for me. There were too many minute details and the vibe felt kind of gray and it wasn't clicking. I tried to read it. I may pick it up again and try again later, but I couldn't get through The Club. I couldn't get past like the first 20 pages. It was really hard. Alright, so let's talk about these characters now. So I want to start with our 2 main characters. First we have Alex. She is the first character that we're introduced to. She's a mom. She has a 17-year-old daughter named Letitia, but we call her Letty, and her husband Nick. She is one of the people who lives in the Alton Road cul-de-sac. It's like this super rich, bougie neighborhood, you know, hence the exclusive, you know, vibe of it all. And she is the one who throws the annual block party for the entire neighborhood. you know, or the entire cul-de-sac, what have you, I don't know. She works as a divorce mediator, and homegirl is an alcoholic. Like, she liked that wine stuff real bad. Moving on to the next main character, we have Letty, Alex's daughter. Alex is like this anti-establishment rebel environmentalist. You know how teenagers be. She's all against the government. She's against, you know, people who eat meat. She's vegan or vegetarian. She's one of the two. I know there's a difference, but she's either one or the other and all that stuff. And she is just, yeah, she has that teen angst thing going on about her and all that stuff. And then you have Nick, Alex's husband. He's not really that important. He's just the asshole husband. I'll get into that later. Then we have the Adair family. We have Emily, who is the matriarch. She is Alex's sister. And then you have Ken, who's her husband, you know, douche, rich. I mean, they're all rich. He's really douchey, and, you know, nobody really likes him that much. They have two sons, Logan, who is currently at college playing lacrosse, I think, and then their younger son, Dylan, who is Letty's age. Ken does not hide the fact that he likes his son Logan more than he likes his own other son Dylan, because Dylan's not that great at sports, and sports is Ken's thing or whatever, and he gives his own son a hard time. Ken is also unfaithful in his marriage. We're gonna get into that later. And then we have the Thompsons. We have Willow Thompson, who's the mom and everything. You have her husband Evan, who is a photographer or something, and they are in the middle of the divorce process right now. They can't stand each other no more. And they have a daughter named Riley, who is also Dylan and Letty's age. She is Letty's ex-best friend and Dylan's girlfriend. Who else is there? Oh, we have the Kumars. Now, they're new to the Alton Road community. They just moved there. It's the dad and the husband is Samir, and then his wife, Mandy Kumar. She's a pretty little blonde thing. Ooh, got my brush. She's a pretty little blonde thing, and they have this 20-year-old son who still lives with them. His name is Jay, and Letty's attracted to Jay the minute she sets eyes on him, honey, because he's also a rebel in his own right, I guess. They're both, like, anti-establishment or whatever. And then we have Brooke. I forgot her last name. I didn't write it down. I'm not gonna look. This book is so long. I basically read this book twice when I was taking notes, so. But Brooke is the only person on Alton Road who doesn't have a husband or kids. Her husband died tragically, mysteriously, and everybody is gossiping on Alton Road, and they think that she offed her husband for the insurance money. But yeah, and they also gossip about her because, you know, she is so fine. She's like one of the hottest women that lives on Alton Road in that big house by herself. So she's, you know, she's envied, and she's, you know, she has speculation toward her because, like, you know, she's so beautiful, but she's not married. She never remarried. Da, 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 da. They got their thoughts about her. Okay. Now let's get into the plot. So this book starts off with Alex drunkenly overseeing her party, because, like I said, she is the coordinator of the annual block party on Alton Road, and she is avoiding Nick, her husband, because they had a fight the day before, and she's still mad at him. So she's drunk, like I just said, and she falls into a kiddie pool, embarrassing herself. Like, she's just not having a good go about it. So after she fell in the kiddie pool and essentially embarrassed herself and her husband, she goes home to sleep it off, try again later. Maybe she'll sober up after this nap, is what she's thinking. Not my wig coming back, honey. Let me pull her down. And then she is woken up by the sound of sirens, and she's like, well, this is Alton Road. We haven't heard that sound in a long time. What are the police doing here? And she automatically knows that something is wrong because, you know, this is Alton Road. This is like a paradise. Nothing ever happened here. So she thinks. So now the book switches to this community page. It's like on this online forum, like, you know, Facebook or Reddit or something like that. I don't know. I'm assuming Facebook's because it's middle-aged people. So the story switches to the POV of the community page, and someone asks what's going on because they hear the sirens too now. And there are some jokes, you know, thrown around saying that they'll never know because, you know, they're not important enough to be included in the Alton block party because it's so exclusive. And then one person comments that they are listening to a police scanner trying to get the details, trying to figure out, you know, what has happened. And then they hear there's a code 187. And apparently that is the code for homicide. So somebody done got at this block party, y'all. Which we know that because we read the book Jacket together. So there you go. The book jumps back a whole entire year ago to the day. And you know, it's Alex again overseeing everything, making sure the whole party is running smoothly. And then she runs into Letty, her daughter, who's giving her a hard time. You know how teenagers are like, leave me alone, mom, or get off my back, dad. You know, she's doing that with her mom. You know how teenagers hate their parents for no reason because they want to be angsty. That's what Letty's doing to her mom right now. And then so she's also chatted up with Willow and Evan, the people who are getting divorced, like I just said. So Alex's sister Emily is currently showing somebody a house, and these people happen to be the Kumar family. And this is their second time seeing the house, but Emily decided to show it a second time during the block party in effort to like make the sale so they can like see how good the neighborhood is and they would want to move here. Little sales tactic. Alex comes over, introduces herself, and they're talking and whatever. Then Ken, Emily's husband, Alex's brother-in-law, comes over to introduce himself. And then when he comes to like introduce himself, he sees the wife, Mandy, and he's just like at a loss for words. And Alex and Emily pick up on this like, what the is that about? And this man is literally making Google eyes at this other woman in front of his wife. And we're listening to, or we're reading Alex's inner monologue, and she's saying how she never liked Ken in the first place because he's always been a dog and he cheated before. So she's like, oh, I'm not, no. So now it's chapter 3, and we're in Letty's point of view now, and she is lamenting about how much she hates the block party and how she doesn't want to be there, but she has to save face because it's the Alton Road and, you know, appearances matter. She's just complaining about the whole thing, right? So after sneaking away from the party, she finds Dylan and Riley making out by the pool or some stuff, I don't know. And you remember how I said Riley and Letty are like ex-best friends? They have a long history together, which I will get to later on when I get deeper into the plot. But she for sure don't like her ass now because apparently Letty defaced school property as a means to protest because of a dress code violation or something that she didn't think was fair. And Riley was the one who snitched on her and told the vice principal that, you know, Letty defaced school property. So yeah, she's not her favorite person in the world right now. So remember the Kumar family and how there was like a son? Yeah, Jay. So Letty finally meets him and they both bond over being misfits and like, you know, rebels or whatever. I would cringe sometimes when I would read how like they're just like, I follow my own rules. I don't follow the rule. I'm like, okay, like shut up, we get it. You're edgy, you're a rebel, okay. We're back to Alex's POV and Emily comes in like very agitated. She comes into her house, she's like, girl, oh my gosh. And Emily's confused, she's like, what's going on? Emily takes Alex's trash out of her trash can and goes over to the Kumar's house. And this girl starts trashing the property. Like the very one that she was trying to sell not too long ago so she could make this money. And she's like, okay, I gotta mess it up as bad as possibly can be. Alex is like, why are you trying to sabotage your own sale? Like, what's going on? This is good money for you to be making. You need to make this sale. What's going on with you? And then Emily's like, I don't want Ken to be living so close to that woman because you saw how he was looking at her. And then we get the whole story about how Ken cheated on Emily before with his f***ing secretary. Like, if you... Not only are you just like the worst person ever, you're not original, like cheating with your secretary, like, oh my god, like you get a new idea. So being that that's Ken's history, the exchange between Mandy and Ken scared her yesterday, and she's valid in that. but I wouldn't be going to trash the house, girl. Like, that's a little too much. So Emily talks her down from the ledge, and she's like, listen, don't sabotage your own sale. She comforts her, but she doesn't deny the fact that she saw how Ken was looking at Mandy too. Like, she was like, yeah, that was weird, but like, don't do nothing crazy. Chapter 5, we're back to Letty's POV. So the Kumar family is moving in to the house, and this is where we find out that Letty has a crush on Jay. He's so cool and statuesque and all that stuff. Girl, she macking on him. Well, secretly macking on him. And this is also where we get the backstory of Letty and Riley's friendship. So apparently in middle school, Riley fell in with the popular crowd and she started bullying Letty. Then the snitching incident is brought up again. So Letty goes over to Jay and asks her to get revenge on Riley for snitching on her, and he agrees. And it's just like, I want to remind y'all, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the entire video, Jay is 20 and Letty is 17. Now, could the gap be worse? Yes, but still. Alright, so now we're back to present day. There's a lot of switching going on, I know. Now we're back to present day and we're on the community page again. So now everyone is trying to figure out who the hell got arrested on Alton Road during the block party. And one person suggests that whoever was having marital issues are the #1 suspect, and we'll come to find out that literally every single couple on Alton Road, well, in that cul-de-sac, is having marital issues. So it could be literally anybody at this point in time in the book. So it's chapter 6 now, and Alex comes back from a run, and her neighbor Willow comes to ask her for advice about the divorce. You know, because Alex is a divorce mediator. She gives her some advice. Willow doesn't take it right away because she's still trying to find the strength to even go through with the divorce. That's a whole other story. But after that, she sees someone sneaking out of the Kumar's backyard, and then she looks a little bit closer. It's Ken. Ken is running from the backyard back to his house. So in Alex's mind, she's like, oh, this motherfucker is cheating, because you know the way that he looked at Mandy Kumar and his history with cheating, and now she sees Ken running, sneaking out of Mandy Kumar's backyard. It's not looking too good for our guy Ken here. Alright, now it's chapter 7 and it's back to Letty's POV. We are seeing her slow descent into this obsession that she has with Jay, and she is constantly watching him from her bedroom window. She watches him go to Starbucks every day, because like he goes to get a croissant and a coffee every morning or some shit. I don't know. That is until he catches her looking. Letty saw him see her see him. So she got caught in 4K Ultra HD, and so she's like, you know, might as well go talk to him now. He done caught me creeping. So she's like, what's the plan with the revenge thing? Like, what are we doing? And then so Jay is like, you know what, I may or may not have planted a camera somewhere near Riley, you know. And then Letty's like, how did you do that? And so Jay shows a video of his parents talking to each other, because he planted a secret camera in their room one time. He's like, I can plant a camera anywhere. And Jay's like, get ready tonight, because we going out. We're gonna see what the f Riley's up to, and we're gonna follow her. My one thought during this chapter was not this high school student sneaking out with a 20-year-old, but I digress. Okay, chapter 8. Oh, what was that? So now it's chapter 8, and Alex is getting ready to go on a date with her husband, Nick. Nick walks in, and coming right behind him is Emily with this gorgeous, expensive necklace that Ken bought her. So now she's at ease about the whole Mandy situation for now. And then Emily also tells Alex that she saw Letty leaving with Jay Kumar. So Alex is shocked and dismayed by this information, because she was pretty damn sure that her and her husband decided that Letty was grounded because of the whole defacing school property type of thing. She's supposed to be grounded, so why is she not in her room grounded? So she asks Nick, like, you know, why is Letty sneaking off with such and such, and Nick admits to letting her go out. Now we'll see this dynamic quite a bit. Like, Letty doesn't play her parents against each other, but her parents do make it a competition on who gets Letty's trust. It really depends on who Letty likes more at the moment, because, you know, she can get away with more stuff depending on if it's her mom or her dad. And then her dad and her have like this special bond, I guess. And she's not really into her mom these days. So Nick let her go. He was like, I felt bad, so I let her go hang out with Jay. I was like, bro, that's the whole thing. Like, it's a partnership between you and your wife. Like, yeah, you might feel bad, but like at the end of the day, your daughter deserves to be disciplined. And you over here backtracking, bro. So yeah, Alex is not happy about this. She's like, bro, why? Alex is pissed because, one, it was a mutual agreement that Letty was to be grounded for 2 weeks because she defaced school property. And then on top of that, Nick just reamed her the other day for not disciplining Letty enough. So here you go, like, letting her run free when she's supposed to be grounded. So how you gonna ream me for not disciplining our daughter enough, and then you just let her go when she's supposed to be grounded for defacing school property? You're a hypocrite, Nick. 3, also because Jay is 20. He's a legal adult. Letty is not. So Nick apologizes. He admits his mistakes. Thank goodness. And they go to the concert together. So on the way home from the concert, Alex tells Nick that she saw Ken sneaking out of the Kumar's backyard the other day. And then Nick adds that something weird is going on because, you know, at one point he invited Samir over to the guys' poker night, and initially he said yes. But then when he found out that Ken was going to be there, he backed out and said he wasn't going to go no more. Now, Alex has even more suspicions going on, swirling around in her brain. Now it's chapter 9, and Letty and Jay are currently following Riley to see where the hell she's going. So while they're waiting in the car, they get to know each other a little bit better. So they see Riley stumbling out of a bar. She's drunk as a skunk, and then there's this guy with her. Jay snapping pictures of the two of them. They end up kissing. Not Jay and Letty. Riley and the guy. Yeah, he's taking pictures of Riley kissing his random guy for the revenge plan. He's getting all the receipts. So Riley ends up leaving with this random guy, and Jay decides to follow them. Happening, Riley is starting to have second thoughts now. And Jay's like, girl, you wanted this, don't be a wuss now, this is what we're doing. And then he's like, so what you want to do? Like, are we following her or are we going home? And then Jay, being the freaking sociopath that he is, he gives Letty an ultimatum. He goes, if we turn this car around, we're not posting the pictures. But if we don't turn the car around, I'm posting the pictures. Letty is conflicted because she wants to follow Riley to make sure that she's okay. She doesn't want anything bad to happen to Riley, but then also, she doesn't want the pictures posted, you know, in the end. So she decides, you know what, let's go home. And that means the pictures will not be posted in terms of Jay's whack-ass ultimatum. She still feels guilty though because she has no idea where Riley is going with this random guy, and she kind of fears for her. Her morality's showing. You can't be plotting revenge if you gonna be a good person. That's just revenge 101. Okay, it's chapter 10 now, and Alex is planning a ladies' night to welcome Mandy to the neighborhood with all the women of the Alton Road cul-de-sac, right? She thinks it's gonna be a good time. She thinks they're gonna be kikiing. We ain't even got there yet. I'm gonna shut up. So during this chapter, we mostly get like an inner monologue from Alex and how she's feeling currently. She talks about the inevitability of Letty pulling away. And it's even heavier because she'll be going off to college soon. She also shares how she can put her foot down everywhere else in life. Her job, you know, other aspects of her life, but she can never seem to put her foot down when it comes to her husband. She curses herself for that, for not having a backbone when it comes to dealing with Nick. So Alex and Brooke go over to Mandy's house to invite her to the ladies' night thing. So they go over there and they invite her, and Mandy is so excited she can't wait, and then Samir pops up. He's not very polite to Alex and Brooke, and he's like, I need to go home. Mandy's whole mood changed, and then she denies the offer now that Samir is looking over her damn shoulder. And this is when Alex notices that Mandy is afraid of her own husband. Chapter 11, there's not much going on. Letty is just trying to convince Dylan, her cousin, that Riley is in fact cheating on him and that he should date someone else. Dylan ain't trying to hear all that, so she fails. Now it's ladies' night, so it's Alex, Brooke, Willow, and Emily. Alex and Brooke tell the other women how they think Samir is possibly abusing Mandy because of the way that he was acting when they came to invite her to the game night. He was being really controlling and hovering, and how, you know, Mandy's mood just seemed to change when he came around. So to lighten the mood from this piece of information, they decide to play Two Truths and a Lie. Brooke goes first, and these are her claims. The first one is she has a stalker. The second one is she used to be a stripper. And the third one is that she killed her husband. Now it goes to the next chapter directly after that. Now this is a shocker because throughout the entire book the whole neighborhood was, you know, saying that she was the one who killed her husband and all that stuff, and she was responsible for making herself a widow. And the fact that she put that in one of her claims for this game, they're like, what the f? And she never said it was true, by the way. She does reveal that she used to be a stripper and all that stuff, and they believe her because, you know, like I said, she's one of the hottest women on the cul-de-sac. She got a banging body. She real fine, apparently. So now everyone is kind of getting emotional because they're getting loose and drunk. So when it's Alex's turn, she reveals that she had 3 miscarriages. And Emily feels some type of way because Alex never told her. They have a little, you know, they have a sister moment and then they put it behind them. So now it's Willow's turn, and these are her 3 claims. She's never signed a prenup. Evan isn't Riley's real father, and she is willing to unalive Evan so she doesn't end up broke after the divorce. So Alex exposes her by saying, well, you did sign a prenup because I read it myself. So that's a lie. So now it's revealed that Evan isn't really Riley's dad, and that she'd be willing to off this man so she wouldn't be, you know, she would end up broke after the divorce. Can I say real? Because I don't know if you caught on, but all the husbands on Alton Road, they're douchebags. Like they're not that great. I think the only good one maybe at times, and this is cutting it really close, is Nick. Because he's not, you know, as condescending and disrespectful. Well, no, I won't go say that much. Yes, he is. We'll get to that in a minute. But I'm just saying, like, Evan is one of the worst men on Alton Road. And he's making this divorce process very hard on purpose. Because Willow was the one who wanted the divorce. And Evan didn't want one. So he's dragging it out, making it this entire process that it doesn't need to be. He's making it harder than it needs to be. And all that stuff, and he's stingy with the funds, honey, especially in their joint account. So yeah, she's like, I might have to unalive this man so I won't end up broke after the divorce, because he said if I leave him then I'm gonna be broke. And I was like, girl. So now we're back on the community page, and we're pulled back to present day to read the post on that. Why is that so much darker over here? Did I put that much on the other eye? I didn't. Why is it so muted over here? So now we're pulled back to present day on the community page. Someone thinks that an exterminator called the Bug Man is the person who was unalived at the block party. So one person who actually has some act right on this community page got on to everybody else about making jokes about someone, you know, passing away. And they're being so insensitive, you know, because they don't really have the depth of the situation in their grasp. So like that one person like lets them have it. And people agree that it might be true because the Altonites, the people who live on Alton Road, specifically that cul-de-sac, they never took kindly to the Bug Man, especially Ken. So we jump back to the past, you know, and it's not summer anymore. It's now fall. So after school lets out for the day, Letty decides to follow Riley to see where she's going. Unique! So after following her, she ends up at a Marriott hotel, and she's waiting to see like why Riley is all the way out here at this Marriott. Like, what is she doing? So some guy approaches Riley, and Letty thinks it's the same guy from that night that Jay and her followed Riley. This guy with Riley again, she doesn't know if it's the same guy, and they get in the elevator together, girl. Letty now has this surge of excitement because now she may have something for Jay to work on. And after following Riley this summer, they really haven't been talking much, and Letty thinks it's because Jay has become bored of her, which he's 20, baby. He got other stuff on his mind, so probably, yeah. So now it's chapter 15, and Alex is walking the dog one night, and then she hears yelling coming from the Kumar's house. She goes closer to the house trying to see what's going on and hear what they're saying, but she can't really hear that well, and she almost gets caught. And then she goes over to Emily's to tell her what happened, and then Ken walks in just being the asshole that he is, talking some major shit and they start taking jabs at each other. So Alex comes for the fact that Ken has guns in the house and how unsafe it is, and then to counter that, Ken comes for Alex's mothering skills, and he says, "You're the reason why Letty's depressed." Low blow. Ken, big middle finger to you. Oh my gosh. So now it's chapter 16. It's the next day, and Alex's thoughts are getting the best of her. So guess what she does? She decides to follow Samir. What is with this mom and daughter wanting to follow people? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Why y'all want to be stalkers so bad? They may have watched the show You and liked it a little bit too much. The reason why she decides to follow Samir is because she's getting suspicious because she hasn't seen Mandy for a while. So she follows Samir and she ends up at a supermarket. When she gets back home, Emily comes over to vent that Ken might be cheating again. And then after that, Samir comes over to apologize for how he acted the other day when Alex and Brooke came over to invite Mandy to the game night. And on top of that, he invites Alex and her family over for Friendsgiving. Then as Samir is leaving Alex's house, he takes a jab at how Alex likes to take the scenic route to the supermarket, revealing that he knew that she was following him. They want to be Joe Goldberg so bad. It's chapter 17 now, and Letty finally decides to go talk to Jay after all this time. And then she tells Jay about the recent hotel incident involving Riley. So Jay invites Letty in so they can talk about it and stuff. And then Letty notices how the Kumars don't have any decorations in their house. Like, it's just a house. It's not a home. Like, ain't no pictures hanging up. Ain't no feng shui. Y'all rich. Y'all ain't feng shuiing up in here. She's like, it's kind of cold and lifeless in this house. It's not even a home, it's just a house. She does find one picture, and it's a picture of the entire family. In the picture, she notices there's another little boy sitting next to Jay. And this is where we find out that Jay had a little brother. He passed away when he was a young child, I think about 2 or 3 years old. Yeah, and Jay tells the entire story about how his brother passed away and how, it seriously messed him up. So Letty feels bad for him, and in an attempt to comfort him, she ends up kissing him. Jay is hesitant at first, but he ends up giving in and kissing Letty back. Mind y'all, she's still 17 at this point, and he's still 20. So Jay stops the kiss after indulging for like 2 seconds, and then Letty's like, "Is it the age gap? It's only 3 years." And she's like, "I'm old enough to consent." And I'm like, Baby, that's statutory. And here he goes with this line, y'all know the line, "I like you, but I don't want to hurt you. I'll damage you." I'm like, oh, here we go with this shit. Oh, the teen melodrama, or the young adult melodrama. He then tells Letty the story of the frog and the scorpion. If y'all don't know it, basically, the frog asks the scorpion to take him across the river or he'll drown. And the scorpion's like, "Well, if you get on my back, we're both gonna drown." So the frog gets on the scorpion's back. He's taking him across the river, and then the scorpion ends up stinging the frog, unaliving him, and then also sinking and unaliving himself. And basically Jay told Letty that story to say, "It's my nature to destroy things, even though I know it's not what I'm supposed to do. I just do it. It's in my nature." And I'm just like, you want to be edgy you want to be Damon Salvatore so bad. That's what it was giving. It was giving Walmart version Damon Salvatore, to be for real. So now it's chapter 18, and Alex is at a mediator meeting with 2 clients who are currently in the process of getting divorced. And in the middle of the meeting, she gets a call from her husband, and Nick is like, "Hey, I think you accidentally grabbed my phone this morning. We have similar phone cases." She's like, "Oh shit. Yeah, I did." And then Nick's like, "Can you get a number from my phone for me? I don't remember it by heart and I need it to make a business call." She's like, "Sure, honey, no problem." And then also, before they hang up, she's like, "Hey, you have a picture of our dog that I really like. Can I send it to myself?" He's like, "Sure, no problem, knock yourself out." And so while Alex is scrolling through his phone to find the picture, she finds something else. Instead of the picture of their beloved dog, she finds a picture of Brooke wearing nothing but black, lacy, sexy lingerie. Y'all, let me read you my notes. Let me read you what I wrote down. I had to stop reading for this part. And I'm gonna start wrote down. I said, bitch, Nick is cheating. I knew I couldn't trust that bitch. Because why do you have a picture of Brooke half naked in your phone, sir? Ooh, y'all, I was screaming at that part. If y'all could have seen my live raw reaction, I almost threw this book across the room, I'll tell you that. So now it's chapter 19, and Letty is still reeling from her kiss with Jay, and then the whole scorpion, you know, frog thing. Oh, he also has a tattoo of a scorpion on his arm to symbolize that story and how he's a scorpion in all the situations. Like, it's really dumb. And then she admits to us that she has a mild, quote unquote, mild obsession with him. And I'm like, baby, it's a little more than mild. It's more like spicy. And she's also having doubts about her revenge plan on Riley. Because the other day, the way that Jay was talking to her, he was sounding real ominous. She didn't like that, so she's having second thoughts. And on top of all of this, she's still shutting her mom out because of teen angst and stuff. She tries to justify why she doesn't like her mom at this current moment, but it's just teen angst. And it's like, girl, you're literally mad at your mom for no reason. And Letty keeps trying to talk to Jay to get him to open up, but he's like, girl, please leave it alone. Like, at this point, it's awkward. We kiss. I just can't. Just leave it alone. I'm gonna read y'all a text from this page. In this part of the notes, it says, read Jay's text at the top of page 140. So let's go to 140. Come on, kids. I see 3 dots. Jay's writing back. Letty, I'm not a good guy. I don't want to hurt you. Don't make me show you I can. See, I read this book as a palate cleanser from Twisted Love. This has Alex written all over it, and that hurt my feelings. I was like, oh, not this again. I thought I was getting away from this. So the next day at school, Letty sees Riley crying, and then she runs into the bathroom. Letty follows her. Letty now has had a change of heart, and she wants to help Riley. And she wants to start being more empathetic towards her. So it's at the end of this chapter we find out why Riley is so upset. She found out that Evan is not her real friend. We knew this from when the women were playing Two Truths and a Lie, but this is a shocker in another sense because, you know, this is Riley now. She didn't know. She didn't know. And this just confirms, you know, everything. So it's chapter 20 now, and Alex is still shaken up about the picture of Brooke on Nick's phone. She is still very, very pissed off. Nick comes home from work and they get into a small spat. He makes all these condescending comments about her drinking because, like I said, Alex is a alcoholic, honey. Yeah, he goes below the belt, and that's why I say not even him. I tried to say he was the best one out of all the Alton men, but him, nah, he got flaws too, honey. And he hit below the belt. And he's like, I noticed the recycling bin overflowing with wine bottles. You think I didn't see that shit? Because I did. So Alex finally confronts Nick about the picture of Brooke in his phone. She's like, well, what the fuck was that about? You want to come in here talking about my drinking? Why are you looking at Brooke half naked? What's going on? And Nick tells her that the only reason why he has that picture on his phone is because Ken sent it to him. Apparently, Brooke has an OnlyFans, love, and Ken is subscribed to her. So when this part came up, I was like, wait a minute. So this was me. This was like my thoughts. I don't know what kind of phone you have, but if he sent it to you, you have the pictures in the message thread. Why did you need to save it to your phone if it's already in your message thread? Does it automatically disappear when you send it in a message or some shit? If it does, what kind of phone do you have? But like, if it doesn't, why save the picture if it's already in your message threads? Why do you need to save it to your camera? Like, what's going on? Like, what the f you doing, Nick? I'm on your ass today. So Nick does some sweet talking. He's like, baby, I don't want Brooke. I only want you. I want you, Alex. I was like, boy, shut the f up. So they come to a resolve, and Alex is like, okay, yes, maybe I do drink too much. I'm gonna lighten it up. I'm gonna cut back, I promise. And so they both apologize, and Nick agrees to delete the photo, no big deal. And then so after Nick leaves to go pick up dinner, guess what Alex does? She goes to Brooke's house. So it's chapter 21 now, and Alex is at Brooke's house, and she asks about the photo, and Brooke tells her, like, yes, it's true, I have an OnlyFans. And Alex shares her concerns with Brooke because, you know, her sister's husband is subscribed to her content, and she's like, do you see how that's like, you know, you see where I'm coming from? Like, you see how I'm concerned about that? And Brooke says, that's understandable, I understand that, but she also says that kid is a grown-ass man and she is not responsible for what he does. She's like, I'm just trying to make money, I'm just trying to make that money, don't let it make me, you know what I'm saying? And she's also saying that, you know, it's just business, it's nothing personal, whatever. And I feel Brooke in that a little bit, like, yes, get your coin, I will never shame anybody for having an OnlyFans or being a sex worker or whatever. Do what you gotta do, like, make that money, and some of them be making bank, so Brooke, get your money. So during their conversation about this entire thing, Brooke gets a text from her stalker. Remember from the Truth, Truth, and a Lie, she said she had a stalker, and that turned out to be true. And the text says, who's in the house with you? This stalker is watching them in real time through the window talking about who in the house with you. What you mean who in the house with me? Why are you outside the house at this moment in time? So rightfully so, this spooks Alex. And she's like, wait, he's watching us right now? And Brooke's like, yeah, he just asked me, like, who's in the house with me? I would have been scared too. Like, what's going on? And then Alex is like, Brooke, why are you not scared? I'm scared. Listen, this isn't even my stalker. And Brooke claims that, oh, he's harmless, he wouldn't do anything, so it's not a big deal. Brooke is just like, okay, whatever. What the And this is where I started getting suspicious, you know, about Brooke in this point in time of reading, because I'm like, she's a well-meaning woman, because people put all these, you know, they gossip about her, like, they put all these rumors on her, but she's not what people portray her to be. But then you are being too calm about the stalker, and then also you have an OnlyFans, which you know that one of your neighbors' husband is subscribed to, which happens to be your other neighbor's brother-in-law. I'm just like, baby, you being too calm about the wrong things at this point in time. Like, you need to be a little more alert, a little more expressive, a little more, you know. So now it is chapter 22, and Letty goes over to Riley's house for the first time since middle school, and it's bringing back all these memories, honey, and she's like reminiscing and all that stuff, whatever. They're hanging out for a little bit, and Riley asks Letty for help with something. And so before she asks, you know, the favor, Riley admits that she was the one that told on Letty. And she didn't know that Letty already knew this, because Letty been knew, but she was like, I'm gonna let her come clean her own. I'm gonna give her her moment. I'm gonna let her tell me the truth. And so Riley admits that she did it so she could get a letter of recommendation from the vice principal. And Letty's annoyed by this. She's like, you snitched on me for a raggedy ass rec letter that you could have gotten from anybody. She didn't say it exactly like that, but that's basically what she said. You know, and then Riley, she's doing the whole crocodile tears, you know, the rich spoiled girl crying or whatever, you know. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And Letty's like, girl, yeah, okay, whatever. Fine. Now it's the time for, you know, revealing things. She also tells Letty the reason why she bullied her so much in middle school. Turns out Riley was jealous of everything that Letty had. And Letty was like, why me? Like, why are you jealous of me? Like, what did I have that you didn't? And she was like, you had a perfect family. You had a normal family. Every night over here was chaos, and I wanted what you had. Your parents weren't fighting. Your parents weren't, you know, acting a fool all the time. I wanted what you had. I was jealous of you, boo. And Letty was like, girl, it ain't even all that what it's cracked up to be, so you ain't got nothing to be jealous of. So they resolved that issue. So after all of that, Riley says that she's been taking spit DNA tests, like, you know, like 23andMe and all that stuff. She'd been doing DNA tests and stuff, and she found her bio dad's lineage. Turns out her father's side is Polish and Evan is Irish, I think. So that's two different things. So she's like, yeah, Evan not my daddy, because Evan is very much Irish. I think it said Irish or something in the book. I don't know. Irish, Scottish, English. I don't know. But she's like, but the results came up as Polish, and Evan is not that, so he's not my daddy. And all this to say, and asking Letty to help her find her bio dad. Chapter 23. It's Halloween now, y'all. And Alex is getting ready for the trick-or-treaters, honey. Alex also requested that the police do, like, you know, frequent patrols around the neighborhood after after the little scare that she had with Brooke Stalker. So she lets the dog out, you know, to go to the bathroom, and she's chilling because, you know, the dog usually always comes back. Their backyard is not fenced off or gated, it's just open. But not this time. The dog don't come back, baby. The dog don't come back like the dog usually does. So after calling for the dog, she don't show, and this is starting to freak Alex out. So she runs off into the wooded area behind their house trying to look for the dog. Maybe the dog ran into the woods, got distracted by something. She's hearing all these weird noises in the woods, and she senses that she's not alone, so she starts to panic even more. The noises get too close for comfort, so she starts running back to the house, and then shortly afterwards, the dog appears unharmed and as happy as can be. But then she sees that there's a note attached to the dog's collar. And the note says, "Back off or you'll regret it." And this is alluding to her helping or getting involved with the neighbor's, you know, business. So she is threatened now. Now it's chapter 24. We're back to Letty's POV again. So after getting the dog back, the police go to check the woods behind the house, and they didn't find anything. They didn't find any traces or evidence that anybody was back there messing around. So nothing. Alex being wiped out by this whole thing. She's like, "Letty, don't go in the woods no more until further notice." And she's like, "I'm gonna go lay down, this is too much." And Letty knows about her mom's constant drinking, but she doesn't want to say anything to her, especially not right now after what just happened with the dog. Their relationship is kind of rocky at this point, but she still has a smidge of love for her mom and affection. So later on that night, both Alex and Letty hear shouting outside, so they go to investigate. And the bug man, the exterminator that I've been telling you about, is in Ken's driveway stuffing flyers down trick-or-treaters' bags as they pass by. The bug man is this really annoying and troublesome character. He's been known to be very annoying and aggressive with his form of advertising for his pest control services, and he's been deeply hated by all people who live on Alton Road. He doesn't know when to quit, and he just takes it too far sometimes. So Ken, well, Uncle Ken in this point of view, because it's Letty, he's really angry with him, and he threatens him, and then he goes inside to get his gun to scare him away, because, you know, he keeps the heat in the house. And when that doesn't work, still, Bugman is still like, "So, post up, whatever." Evan gets in his face and threatens him. I'm gonna read y'all what he said. Let me Ken, stop it. You shouldn't bring your handgun out here, Emily scolds him, and rightly so. Why? Ken keeps his eyes locked on Bugman, sending him a hard stare designed to intimidate. I have a license to open carry. I'm not breaking the law. Neither am I, says Bugman. I'm calling the police, I hear my mom say. Don't bother. The voice, a new one, low and menacing, comes out of the dark. A moment later, I see Evan Thompson step into the glow of Bugman's blinking lights. Willow's there too, but keeping her distance. Evan stands tall. His hair is a little disheveled, the muscles of his face tight. He approaches with a confident swagger, getting right into the Bugman's personal space. Emily stops protesting. Everything becomes quiet and still. The parents know to redirect their kids away from us. Ken may have the gun, but it's Evan who has command. You shouldn't be here, Evan tells Bugman. His words come out in a growl. I'll tell you what I told Wyatt Earp, says Bugman, pointing at Ken. It's a free country, so I'm staying put. He places his hands on his hip in defense. Evan moves closer to Bugman. His gaze burns a hole into me, and I'm not the only one he's staring down. I've never seen this side of Riley's dad before. There's something quite intimidating about him. He's like a human Jenga tower, just barely keeping it together. If one critical block is moved out of place, I can see him coming down with a crash. I don't think I've made myself clear, Evan says in a most threatening voice. We're all sick of you, so I'll say it again. Get out of here, now. Behind us, a new crowd has formed. Once again, curiosity has overruled better judgment, and people can't help but watch. Evan gets close enough to kiss Bugman, but obviously that's not what he has in mind. Do you know what it's like to snap? Evan asks. I mean, when you just lose it, go nuts. I'm talking a temporary insanity kind of snap. Bugman says nothing. Well, I do, continues Evan. It's happened to me before. Your mind kind of goes blank. Suddenly you don't care about anything. You just let it all go. Everything you've been bottling up out, it comes in one violent action. And when it's happening, you feel nothing but euphoria. You've been desperate for this kind of release for so long. Then the fog lifts, and that's when the regret kicks in. You see the damage you've caused, how you left the other person a bloody mess like roadkill. Unrecognizable. You feel sick to your stomach, but you can't do anything about it. You can't change the past, so you live with the consequences and life goes on. My jaw hangs open during this monologue. I've never heard anyone speak this way. Bugman must think the same because he doesn't have that cocky look in his eyes anymore. It's so quiet we can hear wind rustling the leaves of nearby trees. Are you threatening me? Asks Bugman, finding his voice. No, Evan says, dead calm. At this point, I'm begging you to stay right where you are and try, just try, to stick another one of your stupid ass flyers in some kid's candy bag. Go for it. Bugman shifts his weight uneasily from one foot to the other. He gives Evan an appraising look, making his final judgment. Okay, man, says Bugman. I get you. I'm going. No need to get all wacko on me. He picks up his satchel full of flyers, slings it over his shoulders. We watch him walk away, blinking as he goes. Evan says nothing. His expression remains fierce. Looking at him, I feel a chill that makes my heart beat faster. In a night full of spooks, there's no question that he's the scariest of them all. Spoiler alert, Bugman comes right back to the neighborhood later on. That wasn't enough. Like, he has everybody in the neighborhood hating him because he doesn't know when to quit. And you literally have someone threaten your life and you know what? Chapter 25. Willow comes over to Alex's house asking for some more advice on her divorce. She really wants to know how to get Evan out of the house. So Alex suggests that she finishes filing for divorce and stop putting it off and get a temporary restraining order. That way he can't take any of the money that's in their joint accounts or whatever. Willow also tells Alex that Evan has been heavily using drugs and it's only gotten worse. And because he's been doing drugs all the time, that's put a delay on Willow telling Evan that he's not Riley's real father. So then Willow tells Alex the story of her meeting Riley's real dad, Stevie the Wookiee Wachowski. Isn't Wookiee like Chewbacca? Is that right? Star Wars fans. That's that, or is that something completely different? Is that not Chewbacca's nickname? I don't know. I've never seen Star Wars a day in my life, okay? So Willow met him in college and he was a musician, a guitar player to be more specific. This super long hair, hence Wookiee. It was a one night stand, but that was all it took, baby. All it takes is one time and two people to tango. And Evan never noticed it enough to question whether Riley was his because Riley looks so much like Willow and he's too conceited to think that Willow was with anyone other than him, so he never really questioned if Riley was his or not. So it's chapter 26 now, and Letty and Riley are at school and they meet so they can do some more DNA tests. Yeah, Letty has all these vials that she needs Riley to spit into. She's like, I've come prepared, start drooling. So when they're talking, Letty tells Riley that if and when she meets her bio dad, it may not be the interaction that she's looking for. It may not be joyful or a happy day. There might be other family members, including her bio dad, that may want to extort her for money because of where she comes from. So after they talk, they run into Dylan in the hallway, and Dylan confronts Riley about cheating on him. This is coming out of nowhere. Riley's like, what the hell is going on? What are you talking about? So she denies it at first, and then Dylan shows Riley a picture of her kissing the man outside the bar. Y'all remember that? That was the same night that Letty and Jay went spying on Riley. So Riley's like, who sent this to you? And then Dylan's like, someone named A. Dumas. Letty knows exactly who sent him this picture due to that little code name. It was Jay, if you didn't catch on to that. And as if the timing wasn't bad enough, Riley breaks up with Dylan right there on the spot, right after she got caught cheating. Now Letty's feeling guilty because she knows for a fact that Jay sent that picture, and now her cousin is heartbroken. So sad. Alright, we're at chapter 27, and it's now Thanksgiving / Friendsgiving, and everyone is making their way over to the Kumar's house. Alex is still weary of Samir being that, you know, she saw him being really controlling with Mandy all those other times before. So all the couples are there. The Thompsons, the Adaires, Brooke's there too. Things are going fine at dinner, you know, everything's fine until Brooke leans over to get something and like her cleavage is exposed, and then Emily's like, quick, Ken, take a picture of that. And then that's where the storm starts brewing. And Brooke's not helping the situation, talking about there's no harm in looking. Like, baby, you are not, okay, this is my issue, like, with this. She is not actively having an affair with Ken. Ken is subscribed to her OnlyFans, okay? And Brooke is, we've come to know Brooke as very free-spirited and chill, you know, especially with her body and her sexuality. And she's like, there's no harm in looking, don't say that. Like, I don't know if she knows about Ken's past of cheating, but it's like, girl, that's not making it any better. Because he's going to look even more now that you're saying it's okay. And in front of his wife. So now Brooke's OnlyFans is a topic of discussion at dinner now. And it's revealed that Evan is subscribed too, because she says something about, Brooke says something about exclusive content. He's like, wait, what content? And Willow's like, so you are subscribed to this bitch. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is messy. And so Samir's like, well, what about the Me Too movement? What about all this, you know, fighting to like not be sexualized? You know, like, what about all that? What about feminism and the message you're sending to women? I'm like, Samir, please shut the f up. Shut the f up. And Brooke counters with that, saying we should decide when we want to be sexualized and when we don't want to be. Mandy gets in the mix too, but before she can really say anything, Samir pulls off to the side, has a little conversation with her. And Ken gets up and leaves because his ego is bruised and he's embarrassed because Emily caused a scene or whatever. She called you out because you're a cheater. Like, she did what she was supposed to do. So Emily rushes out after him and Alex goes to check on her. She's okay, so they go home, and then Alex comes back into the Kumar's house and then she overhears them arguing. She overhears Mandy say that she doesn't want to take her pills, and Samir's like, you gonna take this medicine? And she's like, no, I'm not. And now Alex has it solidified in her mind that Samir is definitely controlling Mandy and possibly abusing her. In the next chapter, Letty goes to see Jay after he's been ignoring her texts and everything. She confronts him about the picture that he sent to Dylan, and Jay tries to flip it on her and is like, well, this is what you wanted, this is all your fault, like reverse psychology or whatever. But she told you that she changed her mind the night that y'all went to go spy on Riley. She's like, okay, you know what, no, we're not doing this no more. We're not doing this no more. And you still went ahead and did it. You're unhinged, Jay. Like, there's no other way to say it. You're unhinged, you have a problem. And it goes back to the community page, and it's just more people talking more shit about the Altanites. And then we go back to Alex's point of view, and now it is winter. Alex shares what she overheard at the Kumar's house with her husband Nick, and he could care less. Nick is the most aggravating character that is perpetuating the asshole husband trope. I touched on this trope in a previous video and it's kind of unrelated, but oh my god, he truly does not care. And that he isn't observant unless it has something to do with him. Getting no support from her husband whatsoever, Alex goes over to Brooke's house to give her a present. And I thought this was really, it was funny, but it was also really cute. So it's a porcelain figurine of a pinup girl with like a bikini top and short shorts. And it's because, you know, Brooke is like a modern day pinup girl because she's like an OnlyFans star or whatever. And I thought that was kind of cute. I was like, oh. But anyway, Brooke loves it. She loves the gift and everything like that. So Alex decides to confide in Brooke about the Ken situation because she still hasn't told Emily yet, and then she really can't tell Nick about it, you know, anymore because he doesn't care. So she confides in Brooke about, you know, her seeing Ken sneaking away from Mandy's house. She's like, I can't stomach to tell Emily because I saw him creeping around like a thief in the night. And she also tells Brooke that Samir may or may not be abusing Mandy. And then Brooke reveals that she's the survivor of an abusive relationship with her late husband, Jerry, the same husband who she was rumored to have killed. So Alex questions, like, you know, why keep up all the pictures of him all over the house if he did that to you? And Brooke explains that, you know, she did it to save face because, you know, in this neighborhood, in this community, like, status and appearance is everything. But then she kept them up as a reminder of her resilience and what she went through and what she survived. And Brooke recalls how angry she was for letting Jerry play her and use her and manipulate her and just do anything that he wanted to her. She never got to have kids because Jerry said it would f up her body. He said, literally, you cannot have kids because it'll ruin your figure. Y'all, I've never been more pissed. I almost like crumbled the pages in my hand. I was like, and it made me angry because it's the fact that men like this exist. They don't want you to have kids because they want your body to stay the way it is. They don't want it to change. They want you to keep looking, you know, sexy or whatever. He literally denied Brooke from having kids because it would ruin her figure. I ain't never been more pissed at a part in a book like this before. Oh my God.
Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all still awake? So I am jumping in just to chat with y'all. I want to let y'all know that I recorded over 2 hours of footage for this Read in Rouge because I'm going through the plot, and being that it's a murder mystery, I had to go like detail by detail. There wasn't anything that I could leave out or it wouldn't make sense. You would be missing a lot of stuff. So yeah, this video took a long time to film and an even longer time to edit. So I am cutting it right here. Don't be angry, don't be sad. If you want to find out what happens, see how the book ends, come back next week for part 2. That is it. That is all. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and I will see y'all on the next go round. Okay, bye.